Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have another quick comparison and versus video here today. We're going to compare and contrast the 2024 Mazda CX-50. This is the preferred trim level, so really nice happy medium there in the middle, versus the 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend. And again, this is kind of right in the middle of the road, more towards the lower end, entry level, but also have a few features that entry level doesn't have. So today we're going to really look at and see which one is the best pick and which one may be right for you. Let's get this video started right now. All right, so let's start off with styling and size here. So you're going to see right here in the front on the Mazda. Let's start here with the Mazda first. It has the unique Mazda look here. LED headlights here, LED turn signals down at the bottom, and then overall just that Kodo design from Mazda that leads right to the grille here. And overall just a nice clean design. On the Ford Bronco Sport, it really looks like, well, a baby Bronco, which is a good thing. It's got Bronco spelled out across the front there, the nice round headlights here, LED turn signals there. And something unique here on the Bronco Sport is you have fog lights here, which you cannot get on the Mazda. So nice that they give you that option there. Now, let's actually look at the overall size of this vehicle. So the Mazda CX-50 is about 6 inches wider than the Ford Bronco Sport. The Mazda CX-50 is also 13 inches longer. That's right, 13 inches longer, just over a foot longer. But as you can kind of see right from this angle, the Bronco Sport is about 7 inches taller. So overall, both of them have advantages on a few different things, and you're going to actually see here in a second, once we pop these cargo areas open, that the advantage to the Mazda being so long isn't that big and beneficial because the Bronco Sport makes up for it in this boxy shape. It kind of looks like a mini Land Rover actually on the side of the vehicle. And on the side there, you have the Big Bend logo there from Ford. The Bronco logo's there on the wheels. And then you have these nice roof racks up on the top that have a little bit of space in between that you can tie stuff down, whereas the Mazda has the roof rails, but they're really tucked right in to the body of the vehicle. The Mazda has nice black wheels. And then the Mazda on the back here has full LED taillights here and these dual-tipped exhausts out the back of the vehicle, whereas then the Bronco Sport has these combination of halogen bulbs here on the back of the vehicle, and no exhaust showing out the back, but you do have rear sensors here on this Big Bend that has a package on it. So let's pop open the cargo areas now. So let's start off with the CX-50. Advantage here for Mazda, you do have a power liftgate here on this trim level, and at this price point, versus the Big Bend from the Bronco Sport, does not have a power liftgate, but there is something unique over there that I'll show you in a second. Overall, cargo space, you have plenty of space back here in both of these vehicles. But even though the Mazda is 13 inches longer, you actually do have 1 cubic feet more space in this Bronco Sport because of how tall it is in the back there. And the Mazda is really kind of at an angle here. You can kind of see it at this angle that it really kind of cuts off some of that cargo area. Now in the Mazda down below here, you do have your spare tire. This one also has a few accessories here on it, like the cargo cover back there. And overall, a really nice spacious vehicle in the back. You really can put a decent chunk of things in. And again, that power liftgate on the Mazda. Now, let's go over to the Bronco Sport. Again, a decent chunk of space. Neither one of these are lacking in the cargo space. You can put a lot of things back here. The Bronco does have some lights back here as well, a 12-volt outlet back here. And you have some little tie downs over here as well. And the Bronco Sport, because it's a Bronco, right? It's going for the more rugged. So you have this kind of rugged rubberized mat in the back there, which is nice. And then you also have a spare tire underneath. So kudos to both Ford and Mazda for giving spare tires in the back of these. A lot of manufacturers, and some have gone straight just to a mobility kit there, which is not nice when you're going off-road, which these vehicles are aimed at. Little light here that is adjustable. Cool thing there in the back of the Bronco Sport, and you have it on both sides, so you can kind of adjust these lights, which is cool. Now, we said it a second ago, the Bronco Sport doesn't have the power liftgate in this trim, but what it does have is you can press this button right under here, and you have the ability to pop that glass open and then kind of shove longer things in here. Or if you want to get something out of just the top without opening the whole cargo area up, you could reach in here, grab what you need to, and get right out. Bronco, it's kind of cool that they have the little mountains there underneath that, and then you can just close this right up and it goes right back to being locked. So very, very nice, very cool that it has that there. All right, so let's look under the hoods of both of these vehicles. Now, here's the funny part. The power numbers here in both of these vehicles are very similar. 186 horsepower here in the Mazda versus 181 horsepower here in the Bronco Sport. So you may think, oh, they're pretty similar in that category, but that's where the similarities really end. Over here on the Bronco Sport, they have a smaller displacement, 1.5 liter, 3-cylinder engine. That's correct, a 3-cylinder engine that has EcoBoost technology, which is basically turbocharging and direct injection there in the vehicle. And this is hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission that again gets that 181 horsepower. Fuel economy on this one, 29 on the highway, which to have a nice boxy vehicle like this is actually a pretty good feat. It is not the most aerodynamic vehicle on the ground. But overall, a very nice, powerful engine there with the EcoBoost engine. And you do have a hood prop here versus the Mazda, which has struts here, the hydraulic struts that just hold it up for you without having to put that hood strut up. Now, let's talk about the Mazda here. 2.5 liter Sky Active engine here, hooked up to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and it has 186 horsepower. 30 miles per gallon highway is the fuel rating here in the Mazda. So more displacement, a little bit horsepower, more horsepower here, and 1 miles per gallon better, but you also don't have all of the boxy shape that Ford gives and the Bronco. So aerodynamics obviously plays a huge factor in that. All right, so let's talk about the back seat space here in both of these vehicles. Now, CX-50, as we talked about in the beginning of the video, 13 inches longer, and this is really where it plays the biggest factor in the vehicle. 5 inches more in legroom here than in that Bronco Sport, which I'll show you in a second here. But the seating surfaces in here, a nice leatherette finish here, plus a nice mesh finish in the middle of the seats. So overall, a very comfortable seat. And then in the middle, you do have a nicely padded armrest, 2 big cup holders there that does have a leatherette finish on it as well. 2 air vents and then 2 USB-A ports down there in the middle of the car. Headroom's pretty decent in the vehicle. Legroom's really great. And then on the door panel, you do have nicely padded armrests, some silver chrome on the door handle, power window options right there as well, and a little bit of storage down on the bottom. Let's go to the Bronco Sport now. So in the Bronco Sport, let's pop the door open and let's take a look. And you're going to see immediately that the legroom's not bad back here, but it's just not as big as the CX-50. And that really comes from that overall length. But the headroom is ginormous because obviously it's a little taller than that CX-50. So overall, the boxy dimensions are great for headroom. They just cut a little bit of legroom here. Again, if you got a car seat back here, if you got kids back here, they're never going to notice the difference. Both are great in legroom, but the CX-50 wins just a little bit there. Now, looking at the seats here, you do have cloth finish here on the seats. A cool design, looks really good there. And then you do also have here in the middle, these buckles are buckled up there, but you do have a nicely padded armrest that is really in a nice leatherette finish as well there. Coming on down, you do have 2 air vents down there, and then you have a USB-C and a USB-A port, so you do have a little bit of flexibility in here with some pockets on the back. Now, coming over to the door, you have a nicely padded armrest here, power windows, power locks, all that stuff is all in the vehicle here with a little bit of storage as well. Now, let's jump up to the front seats. All right, so let's jump up here in the front of the Bronco Sport. So, same design that carries over from the rear seat here to the front seat. Cloth finish here on these seats with a little bit of gray in the middle that really kind of sets it off, which is nice. Power seat here with 2-way lumbar support. And then you have a nicely wrapped, leather-wrapped steering wheel here with the Bronco logo right in the middle. On the left-hand side, you have your automatic headlights, and then you also have your dimming lights, plus your power, or your release there for the trunk, for the locking trunk there. And then on the bottom, you do have your hood release there. You got to pull that twice to release that hood. Coming up to the door panel, you have a speaker down there at the bottom. Then you have these cup holders down here as well. And then you have some nicely padded armrests, power window, power locks, power mirror options right there with the ability to lock out the mirrors or the windows in the back as well. Let's jump on the inside and turn this touchscreen on. All right, so vehicle does have push button start, so foot on the brake, push the start button there. That really looks cool because in that Bronco logos, the screen boots up, and it's really in this cool animation that they give for the Bronco. That red line is just the new film on the vehicle. It does not actually come with that once you buy it, but the Bronco logo lights up there. Pretty cool illumination. And then you come up to the Sync 3 system here, which is one of the older systems here from Ford, but it still works great. You can still have all of your features here, navigation, your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the touch response is very good in this screen, like you would expect from a touchscreen in 2024. You have your power controls down here for your radio, so volume here, tune knob there. You have your hazards, which is kind of a smaller button there in the middle, but it's still there. You have these cool shaped air vents there that blow air directly at you, and then a little storage area down here as well. Good little design there overall. Coming on down a little further, you do have a single zone climate control here with fan speeds here. You can also set it to 3 ways of auto heating and cooling as well. 3-way heated seats here in this vehicle as well. And then you have a wireless charging pad down there on the bottom with a little bit of textured matte finish down there as well. And then a USB-C and USB-A port, 12-volt outlet as well. Coming on down a little further, you have your shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. You got a low control as well. Cup holders here, and then you have your power parking brake control here as well. And then you have GOAT modes down here as well. And what those GOAT modes do is, let's turn this off real quick. The GOAT modes, you can have different arrays, so normal, eco, sport, slippery, and then sand. So you can put that in a whole bunch of different ways. If I had bought the vehicle, obviously I'd probably have it in eco just to save as much gas. But if you go on those off-road terrains that you need a little bit of help, turn those GOAT modes, and then it will help you to get through some slippery situations. Now, you have a nicely padded armrest here that opens up and gives you some storage down there with 2 USB ports that do hook up. They're just actually fast charging USB ports there. The hookup for the infotainment systems are down here. So 4 USB ports here in the front. Coming over to the steering wheel, you do have, again, that nicely wrapped, leather-wrapped steering wheel here. And then you do have your adaptive cruise control buttons on this side. You have your lane centering buttons on the back of this stalk here. And then you have your volume controls, mute buttons, all that stuff over there. And then the controls for the center screen is actually on the right-hand side over here. So you can press menu and siphon through some different things. You can also press up and down to go through a different array of things there. Speedometer on the right-hand side, tachometer, and then your fuel gauge and coolant gauge right in the middle. Answer hang-up button there, and then your voice controls are all located right there on the steering wheel. Overall, the Bronco Sport, forgot to mention blind spot monitoring, but overall the Bronco Sport kind of feels more like a miniature truck actually driving it than it does a crossover SUV, which is good for some folks, and some other people may feel like it's too much like a truck. I would recommend driving it before, of course, you buy it. Let's jump over to the CX-50. All right, so CX-50, I want to show you a little difference here. So this vehicle has passive entry and passive go. So you can lock the door by this little notch right in the door there, and now the doors are locked. But I can actually put my hand behind the door, and it will unlock the door without having to take the keys out of my pocket as well. The Bronco Sport has it in upper trim modes, but doesn't have it in this Big Ben. Now, nicely padded armrests here. You have power windows, power locks, power mirror options, all that with the lockout button there for the power windows like in the Bronco Sport. A little bit of silver chrome finish there, and then the cup holders down at the bottom. Coming over to the seat, you have that half leatherette, half mesh finish. Power seats here with 2-way lumbar. And then you come over to the steering wheel, you do have that leather wrap steering wheel, very similar to the Bronco Sport. You do have automatic high beam headlights here and the automatic windshield wipers, which you don't have over in that Bronco Sport. You have your traction control off buttons and then some of the safety features off buttons. And then that button there will open the power lift gate as well. So let's jump inside here and turn these screens on. All right, so just like in the Bronco Sport, we have push button start here. So I put my foot on the brake, press the button, and it will turn right on for me. You do have that Mazda chime. I'm sure you can hear right this second. That can get annoying a little bit. But overall, you have a 10.25-inch screen here. Now, you may notice I didn't say touchscreen because in Mazda's regular infotainment system, it is not a touchscreen. It's actually controlled by this turn knob here that you can go up and down through and kind of siphon through back and forth through things. Now, here's the deal though. If you do hook up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can then turn this into a touchscreen using those two features. At the end of the day, I have a CX-50 myself, and I use this turn knob for 99% of everything I do. You just get comfortable to it. It's actually a really nice feature to have. So I recommend, just like the Bronco Sport felt like a truck, and I recommend you driving it, I recommend you driving the CX-50 and seeing if you can get used to that technology as well. Coming on down, you do have dual zone climate control here versus the single zone automatic climate control you had over in the Bronco Sport. 3-zone heated seats here. And then down a little bit further, you have a 12-volt outlet right there, and then some storage area, 2 cup holders here. And then you have your automatic shifter here that you can go down and press over for some manual modes. Now, you have this MI drive, which is very similar to that Bronco Sport GOAT mode. You have sport, normal, and off-road. Little different setup, but you do have those features. So if you're going on off-road, you can turn it off-road. Power parking brake here, volume knob over there, and then, of course, that control here for the infotainment system. Now, coming over to the center console here, you have a split center console. And what I mean by that is, first of all, you have some space down here, but you can actually have this open in 2 different forms. So if you have, let's say the driver has its arm, their arm resting there, the passenger can then open this up without having to move the driver's arm, and vice versa. The passenger has their arm resting there, you can open it up as the driver and keep it kind of separated there. So a nice feature that they have on the vehicle. Nicely leather wrapped steering wheel here with your adaptive cruise control options here on the right hand side, and then you have your volume controls and then your phone hang up button and then the voice control buttons right here on the left hand side of the steering wheel. This info button controls the screen here in the middle. Not as much information here in this center screen that you than the Bronco Sport, but again, some good healthy information there. Fuel economy, you have your digital speedometer with your lane keeping assist, all that kind of stuff located right there. So some good information. And overall, the Bronco Sport feels more like a truck, and the CX-50 just feels like, well, a crossover compared to that Bronco Sport. All right, so that's been a quick comparison versus video on the 2024 Mazda CX-50 versus that 2024 Bronco Sport in the Big Bend. So my question to you, and this is really where you come in as the audience, which one do you think is the best, first of all? And secondly, which one do you think you would buy if you were in the market for a compact crossover SUV? And if you are in the market and you have bought one, let me know. Which one did you choose? If it were for me, I think both of these have huge advantages. The Bronco Sport really takes off-roading to the next level over the CX-50. The Bronco Sport has those GOAT modes, and you really can actually do some mild off-roading with the ground clearance and the boxy shape of that Bronco Sport. The CX-50 has a little bit more road manner than the Bronco Sport, so it's a little more comfortable. But you also get a little more aerodynamics, which gets you a little bit better gas mileage as well. Both are great options. Both I think you should add to your shopping list if you're looking in the compact crossover segment. Give them a test drive. If you're in the market, here at Preston Automotive, we do have a Ford dealership, we do have a Mazda dealership, and we love to earn your business. We do ship nationwide. So let me know down in the description. I'm going to have my email. Let me know if you're in the market. We'd love to get you a great deal. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got more comparison, more videos coming out. And again, leave your comment down below which one you think is the best. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.